guys, what up? It's a questionable Paco here with
Sotosaurus, and today we're gonna talk about some of the bad. I'm not sure if it's bad news for everyone, but I guess just bad news in general. On the official website for Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville, on the news section where they release all like the patch notes and stuff, or not patch notes, but like all the news for the new updates. They released one a few days ago saying that they're gonna have one more festival, and that's gonna be their last festival, and the last content update is gonna be at the end of the month. So, which means that BFN is basically canceled. Now, by the time we're gonna upload this video, it should be the birthday of BFN. September 4th, 2019 was when BFN was released in a Founders Edition. So, yeah, not even a year, and they already announced that they're gonna have, or that BFN is going to be discontinued.
It's basically the end, because once all the cosmetics are gone, what's the point of playing it? Basically.
And it's really like incomplete because now the zombies will always have more characters than the plants. So that's a bit weird. And it's also weird that they ended off with 2 new characters, both being basically just player ports of the AI versions, sort of. They're still cool though.
Like, were we supposed to get like iceberg something like?
Yeah, iceberg lettuce. We're supposed to get iceberg lettuce. Yeah. Because they're not gonna update BFN. That also means that there's gonna be no iceberg lettuce or any new characters or any new content. So that means all the content is finalized. And it's also weird because some stuff in BFN were never touched on after the release, like the Rewardotron or the free roam regions.
Yeah.
Like, those were like basically untouched since the beginning. We thought we were gonna get more stuff for like Wizard and like the new characters, but no, we didn't get anything. BFN is gonna be discontinued, or not discontinued, but like it's gonna be canceled. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that like people who have the game are not gonna be able to play. The servers are still up and running. Heck, the servers for the first game are still up. The first Garden Warfare.
There's a lot of players though.
Yeah. So I think the
player is going to win. Talk about the thoughts on it.
So I guess I should start with my opinions because I'm more of a bigger fan of PvZ than Paco is. Because this was actually Paco's first PvZ experience, and this was probably like my 3rd game. The first one I played was of course the original. After I figured out the hay is still around. So, I have it on my PS3. Yeah. And, like, the first game is, like, super fun. I'd rate it, like, probably the best out of all the games in the franchise. And then, I got the second game, like, a year after it initially released. And then, I got Garden Warfare. I got the first Garden Warfare because I didn't have the next gen consoles for Garden Warfare 2. So I got Garden Warfare instead of Garden Warfare 2. So, yeah, actually one of our first videos is Garden Warfare. And it was very bad quality, because we couldn't capture anything. So, so this game compared to those games, I'd say is around the ranks of Garden Warfare, which is actually, like, middle-ish.
Like, no, mediocre, you would say?
Yeah, mediocre. The best one will be the original, followed closely behind by maybe the second game. Before any of the recent updates, like, recent updates just made it a bit more complicated than it should have been. I say Garden for BFN, same level. But yeah, I didn't, both of them I played basically for a year.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, BFN was an improvement, but, like, okay, BFN was an improvement, but I feel like they took it the wrong way by making it a spin-off of the spin-off. Because, I guess it strayed too far from what people liked about the second and first game in Garden Warfare.
Or like having upgrades instead of like different
variants.
Classes.
Yeah.
Like how do I variants?
Yeah. They have like the upgrades instead of variants, and that like what I like, it did set a new record for most amount of characters released, but it's only 3 in 1 year. but that's still more than Garden Warfare 2, which had 2 more characters. Like, after the initial release, of course. So, yeah, I actually didn't play Garden Warfare 2, but, like, we're actually gonna go up to, we're gonna talk about that later. So, Paco, what are your opinions on BFN?
When I first started, because the thing is, I'm not that. Okay, so I never played the other PVCs, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly just play like other games, and this was like a weird thing, cause like I played Overwatch, which is kind of like a BFN.
Yeah, BFN was like very
like class
inspired.
based and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like kind of like a different take on it, where like it wasn't like you didn't need to pick this certain guy to win the match. You could just pick any character and you can win, basically.
Mm-hmm. Like any character was viable.
It's like strategic and stuff. Yeah. And I found it to be much more of a like, I don't need to try very hard. This is just a fun game to play, basically.
Yeah, like it's very like that's what I like about Plants vs Zombies. Like they took the tone of a zombie game and made it very cheery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just like BFN was very fun, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't the best thing I've ever played, but it was just fun to play. I don't know how to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna be like it's gonna be in the back of my mind, just like always. Like, oh, this isn't like BFN.
It's just a prominent thing in your head that you just be thinking of, like, oh, that was the thing.
Yeah, kind of.
So, yeah, overall, mine and Paco's opinions on BFN are kind of like, it's positive, but not like the best thing that ever happened to PvZ. Although it was the first release of a new game in 3 years, so it
Really?
did. Yeah, we'll talk about that later as well. So right now, let's talk about the future of the channel and PvZ. So, obviously, I'm not gonna go back to Garden Warfare or Plants vs Zombies 2. Like, I did release like 2 videos of both the games, and I didn't have much fun with them basically. And the Garden Warfare was hard to record because it was on a PlayStation and stuff. So, okay, with BFN being canceled, we won't have any new content to look after the September update. So after the September update, so we'll still have videos for like the next month, but after that, don't expect anything else. So me and Paco are planning.
But there is good news.
Yeah, me and Paco are planning to buy Garden Warfare 2. That was the original plan, though. The original plan was to get Garden Warfare 2. Well, then BFN somehow came out right after. I'm like, man, I should get Garden Warfare 2 now that we have an Xbox. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so then, we're planning on buying Garden Warfare 2 around, mid to late October to celebrate 1 year of BFN. So, yeah. We're not 100% sure if we're gonna follow through with it, because maybe they're gonna have some PvZ news. So, yeah, that's about it for our future plans. The next thing we want to talk about is what was it?
Predictions.
Yes, our predictions.
I feel like this is gonna be like it's not gonna be the last game in terms of like PvZ shooters, but I think it's gonna be the last game of BFN's type. Like there's not gonna be like second BFN. I think there's just gonna be a second. There's gonna be a third.
Garden Warfare.
Garden Warfare.
Yeah, that's what like the community are thinking, because they make a lot of money off of it. So what I'm saying is, it's a possibility. Because if you look at their history, they didn't release a game for 3 years because both Garden Warfare 2 and Heroes came out 2016. Then suddenly 2019, BFN dropped, and then they also beta released Plants vs Zombies 3. Both games were not that well received, although they're both basically just good. They're like okay games. They're just mediocre. BFN, people didn't like it because it was different than Garden Warfare, and Garden Warfare basically had the perfect formula. So they were straining too much for people to actually enjoy as much as the others one. People were basically spoiled by seeing the games, and so was I, because it was just like, bro, they went from 200 variants to 20 characters. So, okay. I guess it's easier to balance, though. Way easier to balance. Because it's not like, oh, this character you should never play. It's more or less this character you shouldn't play as much as this one. So avoid that problem and stuff like that. And then, Plants vs. Zombies 3 is mostly just like, oh, hey, let's take Clash Royale and put Plants vs. Zombies on top of that. Basically. So
they were just like trying to get new formulas just left, right?
New formulas, but it wasn't working. So we're both thinking that they might have a Garden Warfare 3. I don't get why they canceled it so early though, because they worked so hard on it. The graphics was amazing, one of the best for a PvP game. So yeah.
Honestly, that was like one thing that I loved about BFN. Like the graphics were almost amazing.
Mhm.
Wait, how did it do like money-wise though? Do you know?
Which one?
BFN.
BFN, I don't know because they didn't have any microtransactions for like half the time. Remember?
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts on that. BFN had a lot of potential, but they didn't act upon it that well. So because they listened to the community and they listened to the community one last time by shutting down any further updates on the game. Now, the biggest question is why, but we literally have no clue why. Either maybe BFN didn't make enough money.
Maybe EA had something to do with it too.
Yeah, maybe EA. Maybe it's like, it's not profitable, shut it down. Everyone is hoping for Garden Warfare 3, although it's probably a very, very low likelihood it will ever happen. People are calling it early, and calling it the end of like the Garden Warfare spin-offs. Which is actually entirely possible, because they failed a lot with BFN. BFN was good, but not in par with the other two. And then, again, the same thing's happening with, PvZ 3 is not on par with the other two. It's too different. It's straying too far from the formula. Which is, like, staying closer to the formula is the reason why, PvZ 2 was so good. So, this is probably going to be one of our last BFN videos. So, yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next time when it comes to Plants vs. Zombies, if we go, on with, Garden Warfare 2, which we're both actually, like, excited for. Garden Warfare 2 actually has a good reception, and it's like Garden Warfare, so I think I'm gonna adjust to it pretty easily.
Didn't you tell me, like, it still has a lot of players still?
It still has players, yeah. The last update was February of this year, which was basically just but no, it was very small. They basically just disabled some stuff. So yeah, guys, don't forget to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
to become Pago Talk and become a lunch. We're gonna see you guys next time. Hopefully.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we're gonna see you guys next time. Hopefully, in Garden Warfare 2. Goodbye.
Bye.